Fear is overrated, I promise that you can overcome it. Keep on climbing till you finally reaching the summit. Never back down, never go astray, and never pay attention to the words that they say. You just put them.
A guy that takes a lot of pride in stepping in this ring. I'm a guy that takes a lot of pride in being a professional wrestler.
I'm expecting the crutch, not expecting no help. You believe it, then you gotta see it through by yourself. And when this light bites back and it's leaving you broke, and even if a song fades, well, there's a beacon of hope.
Yeah, that's right.
The most technically proficient professional wrestler walking the face of God's green earth.
Never let them dictate whichever way that you go. And if it's standing in your way, then you letting them know that the curtain's finally opened and it's time for the show.
I want to be the best. I think I am the best.
Let go. Here we go.
We will conquer all the oceans you can name.
Smooth sailing, baby.
We won't take.
I ain't taking nothing.
You know, they often say it's been well said that life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you deal with it.
Oceans you can name.
Smooth sailing, baby.
We won't take anything.
Yeah, I ain't taking nothing.
AMW 2016, first event at the school where you coach. Let's hear about it.
AMW, we will talk in depth about how great AMW has been just for me personally, if for no other reason. But 2016 was an incredible year for me in a lot of ways. You know, we talked about trying to balance everything that I have going on in my life, but that was the year as a basketball coach at Buckhorn High School that we actually won the 14th region tournament, made it to the state tournament for the first time since 1989, which I was actually on that team as well as a student at Buckhorn. But 2016 was just a tremendous year. We were coming off a regional title. So AMW, their officials contacted me and they said, you know, this is what we're doing. We want to bring great professional wrestling to the people of Eastern Kentucky. You know, we feel like there's a vacuum that needs to be filled there. We haven't had anything long-term as far as professional wrestling, quality professional wrestling. Had a lot of fly-by-nights, a lot of lower talent type shows, but we've not had anything that's been, number one, tremendously talented, and two, had any kind of longevity. And we want to bring that into Eastern Kentucky, and we would like to come to Buckhorn, Kentucky first, because we always had good shows at Buckhorn. No matter the promotion, we always had good events at Buckhorn. The crowds always drew, and they really loved the wrestling, so they wanted to bring it to Buckhorn. And obviously, you know, that was a no-brainer for me, because I get to combine, you know, two of the loves of my life, you know, my coaching and my wrestling, because it became a fundraiser for my basketball team. So we were able to do it that way, and we had a tremendous crowd and had a tremendous event in Buckhorn as AMW's first event.
Hey guys, a few minutes into John Noble versus ATM. You guys want to see the whole match? You got to come to the show. John Noble running, grabbing ATM by the leg, throws him off the ropes, reversed. He comes back, double knee face breaker to ATM, sends him flying into the corner. Man, Anthony, John Noble looks like he's going to breeze through this.
He's on a tear, and as we mentioned a few weeks ago back in Buckhorn, that he would probably be one of the favorites, definitely showing that momentum right now. But hey, ATM has successful wins in this tournament. Nobody can discredit the victories that he has, and I like his chances against John Noble tonight.
John Noble, one of those wrestlers who was lucky enough to be granted a bye in the Battle for the Belt tournament. As big of a tournament as this is and everything that's at stake, a bye is crucial. It is big-time stuff.
But we saw what happened to the Playboy on his bye. He lost the picture perfect. And could that spell the same resort tonight here for John Noble?
We'll see. Hey, guys, Thursday, we've got Clinton Stacy returning to Cordia High School. And then Saturday, AMW is continuing in Hyman, Kentucky at the old Hyman Gym. We'd love to see you guys out there as John Noble goes for the arm drag, misses it, and ATM making him pay, but he does not get the 3 count.
I'm looking forward to being the Cordia there, Nathan, because I'm going to try to go find that All-A-State championship and hold it up. Even though I know you're a Doors fan, it's still good to hold a little bit of state championship back in this area. But ATM definitely on Noble, the Wildcat right now.
It's definitely on top of Noble. Working so hard to win this tournament matchup. A win against John Noble would be big for ATM. I don't know that he's ever had a win over John Noble.
He's wanting it tonight, though. Regardless whether he has or hasn't, he's wanting it tonight. And ATM has now regained momentum of the match. And there he is. That's his textbook, what he does all the time. He drives that knee in the back and then pulls the neck back to his opponents. We've seen him do that in all 3 matches, Nathan, and he knows what he's doing to get the victory.
Oh, the big cutter on John Noble. Could that be it? Oh, may not have had the strength to kick out of that, but he had the wherewithal to grab the bottom rope, which was just in arm's reach. That is good ring awareness for John Noble and something at ATM. You know you're not going to catch John Noble like that.
That shows the veteranship of Noble, of being aware of where he's at in the ring. It does. But ATM needs to be more aware of his surroundings and make sure that Noble's nowhere near the ropes when he finally gets the big pin on Noble. Because if he could get this win tonight, it would be a huge upset. And I would say, Nathan, the biggest upset in AMW so far.
We'll see. We've seen nothing ever goes the way you think it is in AMW because everyone is so talented. And that's why this Battle for the Belt tournament means as much as it does, because it is the guys in this tournament, the wrestlers in this tournament, could be champions anywhere they go.
And I got my first look at the AMW belt tonight, and it's a mighty fine belt. Any of these wrestlers would love to have it.
John Noble sends him into the ropes. ATM thought he could jump over him.
Kick out.
Noble with the bridge. Near fall. Noble can't believe it. Thought he had him. ATM thought he had the reversal, but Noble hit him with the big-time suplex with the bridge. Gotta respect that. And did you hear that shot? Oh, Death Valley driver.
No.
Near fall.
Hook both legs, ATM. Hook them both.
And ATM's shoe that's been giving him all the trouble all night has finally found its way off of his foot. And he'll have to finish this match with one boot, Anthony, because I don't think John Noble's going to give him time to put it back on.
John Noble won't give him time to put it back on, but ATM's got to put that out of his mind and continue to execute his moves and find a way to get the victory and beat John Noble.
Is he going for another Death Valley driver? Noble with the reversal.
No.
He's going to get one of his own.
Oh,
big time move from Noble.
kick out.
And that's all she wrote, folks. That is all she wrote. John Noble wins it, moves on.
Hey, wrestling fans, Kyle Maggard here. Well, we're talking about John Noble 1090, the big documentary series. And, you know, I think many people know that I started in professional wrestling up and down the road with John Noble and Eddie Brown, and spent many a years, many a day, many a night, whatever chronological order you want to put stuff in, or numerical order, time numerical order, whatever the proper term is. You know, I'm glad that AMW decided to do this on John, and I think he really deserves it. And try not to get too emotional here. Many people don't know a lot of time and effort John's put into professional wrestling and other stuff that he does in his life between coaching basketball and being married. He devotes a lot of time to other people other than himself. So I'm glad to see that AMW is doing something that's devoted to him. And you know, I just want to real quick thank John for all the years, all the advice, and going to the hospital at 12 in the morning one night after getting a phone call from me. You know, he'll know what that means. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. God bless.
I've learned one thing in my days, that whenever Phil Fair says it's a fair deal, it's not really. But Street Fight, Chavies, Kentucky, April 6th, Hardwired DVD tape, and you heard it, folks. Got to be there for that one. Won't be able to see it on AMW-TV, only live or on a DVD. And here we are, the main event of the evening, John Noble versus the progressive liberal Daniel Richards. The first ever one-on-one match from Daniel Richards here on AMW-TV. You saw a little bit of him in the Battle Royal a few weeks back at Frontline Ministries, but you get to see him in action for the first time in a one-on-one match tonight. as Daniel Richards takes on John Noble, who is back in action after some time off. Interested to see how these guys, how this match pans out. John Noble, always a tough competitor. Daniel Richards has been running his mouth for weeks. We'll see how it goes. These guys will both be at Chavy's too, as John Noble has got Daniel Richards' Hillary Clinton shirt here. And I have no idea. And here's his "Not My President" tank top. I mean, guys, if you, a lot of people think that this is some act that that Daniel Richards is just doing this to get under people's skin. No. Spend a few minutes with this guy. Spend 2 minutes. Spend 3 minutes with this guy around him, and you will find out that this, the Hillary Clinton shirt, the love for Hillary Clinton, it is just as real as John Noble. Evidently not a Hillary Clinton fan here. Daniel Richards stunned. More worried about what happens to his shirt here than what happens in this matchup. They continue to jog back and forth here. We mentioned that Battle Royal at Frontline Ministries earlier, as we skip ahead in the match here. Both of these guys were there. John Noble eliminated by Stan Lee after Stan Lee had already been eliminated. So John Noble challenges Stan Lee. Stan Lee sends the progressive liberal Daniel Richards in his place here at Leatherwood. But John, once he's through with this matchup, he gets Stan Lee April 6th, Chavy's, Kentucky at the Hardwired DVD taping. Progressive liberal not making it easy on John Noble here. He's had some success. He's from the Richmond, Virginia area. First time having a one-on-one match. As he takes John Noble off his feet with the big shoulder block. Oh, and he flexes at John Noble. Hey, Daniel Richards, not the most intimidating physique, but he's a strong guy, a really tall guy. I'd say Daniel is probably about 6'4", maybe 6'3", 6'4". Really tall guy, maybe taller than that. So definitely an interesting matchup to deal with here for John Noble, the length and the strength of Daniel Richards. Fans livid at Daniel Richards here in Leatherwood. I kid you not. Daniel Richards showed up here today before this matchup with a petition to shut down the Blue Diamond coal mine down the road here in Leatherwood, Kentucky. And you can guess how fans took to that as the progressive liberal flexes on the turnbuckle with his Democratic donkeys on his trunks. Fans have cleared the bleachers and are all down by the barricades, wanting to let the progressive liberal know that he is not welcome here in Leatherwood, Kentucky after that stunt he pulled earlier today. Tie up here. John Noble fighting with Daniel Richards, but if it goes to those tie-ups, that length can be a real problem. Just so much more room to work with there for Daniel Richards. John Noble with the big-time drop kick. Man, a John Noble drop kick is, here's 3 for your trouble, Daniel. John Noble's drop kicks are the best you will see anywhere. And those 3 send Daniel Richards out of the ring, down on all fours as the fans in Leatherwood, Kentucky absolutely giving it to him. Good thing we've got the law enforcement there to keep everything in check as the Progressive Liberal takes the seat. Taking the long way back to the ring. Again, both of these guys in matchups April 6th, Chavez, Kentucky, at our Hardwired DVD taping. And if you want to see the main events, the most anticipated matches, the championship match of the night, you will have to be there at Chavez, Kentucky, and you will have to purchase the DVD at one of our other live events, or get up with us on Facebook. We can get you a copy of those. We sell them on eBay. Richards finally making his way back to the ring. Crowd urging this fight to get back going. Locking up again, like I said, those tie-ups favor Daniel Richards with that length. John Noble fights his way out of that lock, putting one on of his own. You can't deal with the length sometimes, but the agility of John Noble got himself out of that situation, and now John Noble is in control, and the Progressive Liberal is reeling. Off the ropes goes Noble. Takes the knee, sends him flying. Noble's grounded, and he's got to find some a way to get up as he pulls himself to the turnbuckle, but even that's not a safe place right now. Snapmare takedown. Big shot to the gut. Goes for the cover, 2 count only. Progressive Liberal Daniel Richards really impressive in his first showing at on AMW-TV. Really impressive stuff. John Noble may be shaking off a bit of the cobwebs, give some time off, but you have to look at this and respect what Daniel Richards is able to do to a world-class competitor like John Noble. Knife edge chop, follows with an open hand, sends John Noble into the turnbuckle. John Noble with the chop that echoes across the arena tonight. Puts him on the ropes. Oh my goodness! I can't fathom what that feels like, and I don't want to ever experience. John Noble goes for the drop kick, unable to connect there. As get a closer look here. Progressive Liberal going for the cover. John Noble getting the shoulder up just before the 3 count. Crowd cheering on Noble as he's up to one knee. Trying to fight his way out of this hold. He's almost out of it. Up on 2 feet, slinging some elbows, ducks under the clothesline. Roll through cover. 2 count. John Noble ducks through, kicks, sends John Noble goes flying off the rope. Sunset flip, cover 2, 3, John Noble. The sunset flip, the cover, he gets the 3 count. Let's take a look at this one, folks. As again, John Noble kick, gets launched off the ropes, but goes flying over Daniel Richards. The 3 count, it's over. Let's talk to John about this one.
I had been on some shows with John. Didn't know him all that well, but been on some shows with John in the Kentucky area in 2004, before I moved to Tennessee, when I was really just breaking in, really getting my feet wet in professional wrestling. And a part of me said, whenever they told me I was going to be working with John, was, oh wow, here's a guy that's going to make me look really, really good. But then there was another part of me that, the human nature side of you. I said, here's the guy that's going to steal my spotlight. Remember the story of Cain and Abel, two brothers giving an offering, and one was going to be accepted and one was going to be rejected. And I could have been like Cain and killed my brother Abel and try to eliminate it completely. But here's the thing about John Noble. The more you're around John Noble and realize how good he really is, and I don't just mean in-ring talent, I mean psychology, I mean locker room etiquette, professionalism, respect. That's the kind of guy that when you're around him more often, you get better. You love to hate him, or you hate to love him, one or the other, but he just makes everyone better. And sure enough, we started working an angle together, and we had an opportunity at the Night of Champions, which was kind of their pay-per-view, their big blow-off event. And me and John had our match, and everybody's heard of the matches, Night of Champion. It was a star-studded event. Everybody who was everybody, the who's who of professional wrestling were on that card. And yet, at the end of the night, we had the best match. We were told by many of the legends, we were told by the promoters, we stole the show. And that's not because of me. Once again, I was just a green, young, white meat baby face just trying to sell and do my part. But I couldn't carry a match. I didn't have what it took to really take it to the next level. But John did. And it was truly a work of art. It was truly a masterpiece in the making. To literally be in the ring with him, not knowing what was going to be happening, not knowing how it was going to turn out, and to see the way that we painted this beautiful picture with our bodies. And I'll never be able to thank him enough for that. And since then, me and John have become quite close. We've shared our faith. We've shared the ring some more times. And as many times as we've beat each other up, facing against each other, we've also been on the same side of the ring together. So it's really an honor to be able to just say a few words about John. I love you, brother. I appreciate what you've done for me in my career, what you've done for the sport in general. And let me just say this, number one, the best is yet to come. I think there's still a little tank left, or a little gas left in our tanks. But number two, there's still a couple of receipts that I owe you. As much as I love you, and as much as I love tagging with you, and as much as I love being in the locker room, my favorite place is to be on top of you, with you underneath, staring at the lights, and hearing that ref count. 1, 2, 3. Don't ever stop looking over your shoulder, John. Love you, brother. Proud of you. And I'll see you soon.
What's
What's going to happen April 6th at Champions?
Hey, I just want a piece of Stan Lee. I've been ready for this for a month. Since he came from behind after I eliminated him in the Battle Royal, apparently nobody saw it. He threw me out. There's no point crying over that. It's done. It's over with. I challenged him. He sent another guy in his place. And Dan Richards, to his credit, gave me all he had. It just simply, kind of like Hillary Clinton, I guess, just was not enough to get the job done. And now I've got Stan Lee. April the 6th, the match I wanted from the get-go, Stan. The match I asked you for from the get-go. And now because you've put me off, and you've ran, and you've ducked, and you've dodged, now I'm coming with both barrels loaded, and I'm going to finish you first thing, Chavez, Kentucky, April 6th.
Either Buckhorn, as you mentioned, the head Wildcat there, the den at Buckhorn High School, and certainly a great guy, John Noble. John, been a friend of mine for many, many years. Had an opportunity in the early days to work a lot with John Noble and Eddie Browning in different promotions. I know those guys have been all across not only the southeast part of the states, but also some foreign ground we'll talk about a little more.
There's the bell, Earl, and we are off and running.
First night, first match of the night. Certainly a lot of excitement here tonight. The final farewell. The attire there, much to the dismay to most of the fans in the house tonight of one Stan Lee.
Big toss there from Stan the Man, and that is one area where he may be able to bully John Noble around. Is just the size difference.
He's got a lot of size on him, but you take Noble. Noble is a guy that we talk about the heart. You can't measure that. His speed, his agility, and the athleticism. I tell you, Noble will probably go like the old Andersons used to do in the ring, find one part of the body, constantly work on that, try to weak down the heavy load that is Mr. Lee.
You got to do what you got to do with John Noble. That is something no matter how big anyone is, if you take the legs away from it, everybody's about the same size.
The vehicle does not move without the wheels, I can assure you. Now Stan Lee trying to just buy some other time here, trying to maybe get into the...
Lock up. Oh, big body slam there from Stan. John Noble right back to it.
Again, Lee just kind of takes his time taunting with the fans. And that's just giving John a little bit of extra time out here to regain some of that self-esteem as he gets back up to one knee now.
It is, but Stan Lee, I also think his games with the crowd are almost an attempt to get into John Noble's head, just to play some mind games. But I think maybe someone with John Noble been around the block as many times as we mentioned with John Noble that those games don't work on a seasoned veteran like John.
Cheap shot there from Lee, the elbow.
Just when he's breaking the hold. John Noble over the top. Big toss from himself there. Another one. And there's the John Noble drop kick. And Stan Lee out in the ring, and he is a mess.
Looks like some of the apron wants to cover up Mr. Stan Lee. Welcome to the mountains.
That is a first. Stan Lee is furious right now. Not only did he get drop kicked by John Noble outside the ring, he was absolutely entangled in that. That's got to be embarrassing.
The count is on from the official as Lee back to his feet now and set to get back up on the apron. Now backs away. You know, we talk about Stan Lee. Here's a guy that likewise has had a lot of big victories in his business. Wow, some nice punches from Noble. Noble, a sweet move there.
Takes him off his feet, gets him back in the ring. Stan Lee pleading with John Noble. Don't listen to him, John.
How many times have we seen this in the history of this business? And I don't think John is going to fall for that. Not at all. shots to the abdomen, and now Noble back into the reversal.
Oh, it's well scouted there by Stan Lee. Suplex putting John Noble on his back there.
We known all over the volunteer state of Tennessee, the Carolinas. We mentioned on several different promotions. Back that way, Nathan, and he's held a number of championships.
We mentioned earlier, John Noble may think about taking out the legs of Stan Lee, but it looks like Stan Lee's taking out the legs of John Noble.
We bring up a page of the old Andersons, Ole, Gene, Lars Anderson, Arn Anderson, the way they used to pick apart the body and methodically work that so redundantly. And that's what Lee's trying to do now.
Look like a blatant rake to the eyes there. The referee putting a stop to it, but the damage already done.
Still goes right back after that left knee and lower calf area. And here's where the weight of Lee really could be dangerous right now for John. He dropped to the back of the thigh now. You can tell how Noble is grimacing in pain and agony.
It's a whole lot of man grabbing the ring ropes for some extra leverage, which is against the rules, by the way.
As the official talks to Noble, and there's no way John Noble is ever going to throw in the towel. Lee again using the top rope once again for the leverage.
Goes for it again. This time referee catches it. Quick roll up from Noble. Almost had it right there. Oh, the shot block. Taking out that left knee once again. John Noble in some serious trouble here.
Very serious, trying to work himself back up to his feet with the help of the second rope, and here comes Big Stan Lee. Stan the man grabbing it. Goes back to work on it. Ow! Right down to the canvas. A big night here tonight as the final ever professional wrestling event is held here. The world title bout coming up later on this evening.
An attempt from John Noble again. Well, we mentioned Kyle Maggard being the hometown boy, and John Noble spending some time coaching the Buckhorn Wildcats. A lot of people don't know John Noble used to coach here at Chavez Elementary before he went to Buckhorn.
We got to start at homecoming for him too. Kyle Maggard, former star here on the athletic level as well. You know, these schools here, the gymnasiums are wonderfully built back in the day, and just a great feeling for an event such as this, Hardwired here tonight. It says a lot. I'm going to miss places like this. So many are consolidating now. These elementary schools are going into one bigger school. But a lot of fun, and I'm sure if these walls of this gymnasium could talk, some stories it could tell.
Well, it just doesn't feel the same. These tight-knit communities when they get John Noble with the roll-up here. Another quick one there, but these small communities, just something about them a little more, just a little more mystique about these smaller communities than when they consolidate into the larger schools. Get these really big gyms. It just doesn't feel the same. It's like the Dookie aspect down in Cameron Indoor. You know, just so many people crammed in these small gymnasiums.
Can Noble get it done from the top rope? Oh!
There it goes. That could be the moment John Noble has been waiting for.
You can hear the rumble of the crowd back into it for Noble. Give him that second win here tonight.
Goes to the top. Crowd counts on. Irish whip. Oh, going for the back body drop. Takes a kick to the chest and a clothesline from you-know-where.
I really thought Shan was dazed and confused after the fist to the head that time, but give credit where credit is due. He's the one that breaks the momentum by Noble here.
Into the turnbuckle, slips it, roll up here. Folks,
He got
that is
him!
it. 3 count for John Noble to open up Hardwired here in Chavez, Kentucky with a win. Stanley saying his foot was on the rope, but clearly throwing it on the rope after the fact, after John Noble's hand is going to be raised here.
John, in later years, you become very active with your church, your religion. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was in 2009. You know, I made that choice to, you know, to come to the Lord and serve Him, and it's been something for me that that was long overdue. I think as it is for a lot of people. But the good thing about that is, you know, that's not something that that you can put a timetable on. You know, everything's on the Lord's time anyway. So, but it is something I enjoy sharing with people. I've spoken for at several youth groups and churches and rallies and things of that nature, and we're getting ready to see an event for AMW that I gave my testimony to here in Hazard actually, and you know, that was actually the first time that I'd actually given my testimony, because I mean I could talk much more about that, but that was very hard for me because I'd never done it. But once I started speaking, you know, I just let the Lord take over and let the Lord lead me, and I went down the road that He wanted me to go down in that speech, and I think they're going to show that right now.
Let's take a look.
I had 2 goals, I had 2 dreams growing up, and one of them was to do this, be a professional wrestler. And then at about age 16, 17, I decided that what I wanted to do was coach a Buckhorn Wildcat basketball team. And you know, the Lord has blessed me to do both those things. And how well I've done them depends on who you talk to, probably. But you know, I feel like I've always done my best and tried to do the right things. But to be able to do this, to be able to share Christ with you through a wrestling ring is pretty unconventional. It's not something you see a lot of. You don't see a lot of people, a lot of churches especially, willing to do that. So frontline, please give yourselves a hand for being willing to step out here and do this. I have seen this. I've done more of these than I care to remember, but you know, we've done some really big shows where so many people gave their hearts to the Lord that night, and that might not have normally even been to a church other than to a wrestling show. You know, if you're here tonight and you've not accepted Jesus Christ, I pray that you find that peace and that love that we all know and cherish more than anything in this world. But as far as my testimony goes, you know, I've tossed and turned, I've thought about it, and I've thought about it. I didn't know. I knew I had a testimony. Everybody has a testimony. I didn't know, almost really didn't know what mine was, because a lot of the testimonies that have moved me have been from people who struggled with addiction or who struggled through their childhood. I had a really good childhood. I had great parents that loved me in a wonderful place. I don't see Trenton right now, but I had a very normal childhood. It was normal what you could have growing up in Barwick anyway, right? But you know, I had parents that pushed me, that motivated me. I had those things. I've never, and I'll explain what I mean. I always considered myself a good guy. I always thought of myself, I've never been, I don't tell you this to tell you on what a wonderful person John Noble is, because the people that know me can tell you 1,000 stories otherwise probably, but I hope they love me anyway. But I've never been drunk, I've been high a day in my life. I've never had struggles that so many of my brothers and sisters have had. And for so long, I got saved in 2009 at just shy of my 35th birthday. And I'm that old. And I always had these lies that I told myself, and some of you have probably done this, and some of you may be doing this now, and if this reaches your heart, it's because the Lord's put it on me to tell you this. I had so many lies that I told myself, and I wrote a couple of them down. And one of them was, you know, I knew Jesus was there. I've always known it. I've never denied it. I just chose to live otherwise because I was a good person, right? And I mean, we've all been there. I mean, I'm assuming several of us have been there. I'm a good person. I don't have to be saved. I pull over and give money to people that need it. I donate to charities. I do all this. But we know, because now that we're saved, we know what the Bible says in Ephesians 2:8 and 9, that for by grace you are saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves. It is God's gift, not from works. So no man can boast. There is nothing, no matter how good a person you are, no matter how good a person John Noble was, there was nothing I could do to save my soul.
Amen.
And if you're out there tonight, and you know, God bless you, if you're out there tonight and you're feeling that same thing, you're wrong. And the sad truth is, and I've been able to hear so many good pastors since I've spoken, since I've been saved, and I've had so many people tell me, you know, John, there's going to be a lot of good people that don't go to heaven. And that's a fact. You can be a good person. You can do the right things. But if you don't know the Lord, you're just spinning your wheels. Another thing that I told myself, and again, you have to bear with me. This is hard for me. This is out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. And it's funny that my wife, and those of us that are married understand that our wives can put things in perspective like few others can. She said, John Noble, you've been shirtless and in tights in front of 1,000 people. Why would you be nervous about speaking and about sharing the Lord? And it's a very good point. But another thing I always told myself was, I don't want to go to church because I know the people that are there and I know what they're doing on Friday and Saturday. How many of us have said that? You don't got to raise your hands. But I know I said it. If you didn't say it, I said it enough for me and you. And then my pastor, I'm a member at Harvest Baptist Church over in Lost Creek, Kentucky. And my pastor, we started there. We moved from another church back last July. Well, my pastor there is Josh Felter. If you know Josh, he's a great guy. And he made a comment about that. He said, you know, people use that excuse, but where else should a hypocrite go? If you're a hypocrite, where else should you go but to church? But I used that for so long. And then another one that I used, and I'm going to finish this up really quick. I know everybody's got a place to be. Just bear with me, please. Then I used to tell myself, I'm going to wait till I straighten myself up. I'm never a guy that had a lot of vices, but the vices I did have were more than enough to make up for everything that I wasn't doing. But I always said, well, I'm going to quit cussing, and I'm going to quit doing this, and I'm going to do this. If you're waiting to clean yourself up for Jesus, you're never going to be ready. Come on. Because Jesus will come to you. He will meet you where you are. And it took me forever to understand that, or it felt like forever. He had to give me a lot of signs. He had to give me a godly wife that I met in 2002 that helped get me on the right track. Because no matter how good I was, how bad the people I thought that were going to church was, none of that mattered other than the simple fact, the only thing that matters is that Jesus Christ died for me and he died for you. Amen. And then the last thing, and I'm going to share this story with you real quick because I started going, we went to Montgomery Baptist Church for a while over in Knocking, and I love that church. And it's a really big church. It's a really big church. Pastor Ricky Smith he's anointed. Every time he speaks to me. It was just, we move churches like a lot of people do just for a smaller field, a smaller church. But I went there and my wife started making me go. I'll just tell you the truth. She started making me go. And the more we went, and if you've been there, you don't got to raise your hand, but you can relate. The more we went, Ricky Smith was talking to me. There might have been 300 people there, but he was talking to me. And I can't tell you how many weeks I had to bow my head in shame when nobody was looking. And tears running down my face because I was ashamed to show my face because of the things he was saying about me. And that went on, and it went on for about a month. And this was August of 2009. And my youngest daughter, Emily, was about, I guess, almost a year old. So every time this would start happening, and I started feeling that tug, you guys know the tug, I would turn around and I would play with my daughter. And I would distract myself from what he was saying to me by playing with my daughter. And that was my way of just, getting by it. And that's, that sounds really bad now that I say that out loud, but it's the truth. And I'm here to tell you the truth, or the truth as I know it anyway. So we're there, and he's hitting me really hard, and I'm sitting there, and if you've ever been in my shoes, you understand I'm sitting there, and I'm standing, this invitation song, I'm like, oh, I need to go, I want to go, but I don't know if I want to go, but I need to go. But I don't feel like, where's the lightning bolts and the urge to do backflips down the aisle that's supposed to hit me when the Lord calls me. And I thought to myself, because we all, several people do, I thought, Lord, if Ricky Smith says one more thing, if he says one more thing, I'm going up front. And this is the truth. He said, one thing that keeps people, it's funny to say that, one thing that keeps people from coming to the Lord is they keep expecting to jump up and do backflips down the aisle. And I turned and looked for my daughter. And they had taken her to the bathroom and she wasn't there. So I had to turn back, and now, it's all welling up, and all those years of things I've done wrong, and all my sinning, and all that stuff. The same thing that my dad, who got saved 10 years before me, I'd never seen Johnny Noble cry in his life, Trenton, and he got saved, and I watched him sit in the pew one day and cry rivers. And my dad's the strongest man I know. And that same thing that was pulling on him was pulling on me, and my wife, for the first time, saw me, and she grabbed my hand, and she said, I'll go with you. And she walked me up, and whether she knows or not, my wife's name Melanie, some of you guys may know her, whether she knows it or not, she had been walking me up that aisle for a long time before that. But that day, she physically took me by the hand, and she walked me up to the aisle, and we kneeled down, and I brought Jesus Christ in my heart, and I've been a changed man. Even from being a good man, I'm a saved man now. Amen. And, there's a huge difference. And you guys know the difference. And like I said, if you don't know the Lord tonight, I pray that you find that peace. I pray that you find that peace. But my life, I want to tell you that, and everybody that's Christian knows this, I would love to tell you that I got saved and everything's been gravy ever since. But we know it's not that way, don't we? We know if sometimes, if nothing else, it gets harder. And the one thing that we have that nobody else has, whether we're on the mountaintop, they sing a song in church today, whether we're on the mountaintop or in the valley, it's the same God. It's the same God, and He's there for us, and He's been there for me, and I'm very honored and very blessed for you allowing me to share tonight.
AMW First Hall of Fame. You get to induct your childhood hero and get a title shot.
That was a tremendous night for me, obviously on a personal and professional level. Anytime you get the challenge for the AMW title, it's a major deal because not everybody gets that shot. And the AMW champion for me, and I've always said this since AMW, since it's been a thing, if you're the AMW champion, you're the best wrestler in the state of Kentucky and probably in the southeastern United States. And I believe that, and I've always stood by that. But to have that opportunity on the same night that I get to go up onto the podium and speak about really the guy that got me to love professional wrestling, Ronnie Garvin. When he was here with ICW, it was the one-man gang, Ronnie Garvin. Of course, later on, it was the man with the Hands of Stone, or Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, as he became NWA champion. But for me, he was always the original one-man gang. And when I started watching him, and I said this even back then, Ronnie Garvin, Randy Savage, Lanny Poffo, that was my Batman, Superman. Those were my superheroes. And to be up there at a podium inducted my absolute hero, Ronnie Garvin, into the Hall of Fame, and to get a title shot, which it didn't pan out, I think, as they will show here at some point, due to Phil Fair, who was Stan's manager at the time. It didn't quite pan out due to him, but it still was just a tremendous night. It was a tremendous honor to be there, and I was. It's always going to stand out as one of my favorite memories.
Over the state of Kentucky, we're planning to go to Tennessee. Just any place that we can take the great wrestling of Appalachian mountain wrestling, we will definitely be coming to your cities. Here comes John Noble. Fans here definitely are behind him. They are just so sick of Stan Sierra and the way Phil Fair has done things. Phil Fair has always got his nose stuck in business is not his. Stan, he was trained by Sean Christopher years ago. He's definitely wrestled all over the Southeast. He's held multiple championships. You got to give the devil his due. He's a great champion, and you can't take anything away from John Noble. John Noble started with the great Dale Mann years back. He's won every title that he's ever went for. Been all over. Actually had a tryout for TNA. He's just one of those guys. You got to take your hat off to him and how great he really is. Drop kick right there, folks. He's going for the pin already. He's ready to get this thing going. All right. Irish whip. Oh, he goes under. Gut shot right there, and he throws him out of the ring. He's definitely a little mad from last night, as he should be. Wow, what? Oh, fans, you can hear that at home. The ref is counting, and he throws him back in. John Noble comes back in. Stan Sierra goes to, gut shot. Irish whip. Big clothesline by John Noble. Goes for the cover again. Just a 2 count right there. It's going to take more than that to beat Stan Sierra. He's just too big and too strong for anything like that. What a maneuver there by John Noble. As they go to the outside, Phil Fair backing up. The ref making that count again. They have 10 seconds to get back in the ring. And Phil Fair over there, and it's untelling. Look at what Phil. You got to watch Phil. It's untelling what he'll do. He's been known to cheat, do all kinds of stuff. Right? Just look at that. Look what he done right there, folks. He clipped his knee. He carries that cane around. I don't know what he's got it for. He don't need it, but he carries it with him, and he just took that to John Noble's knee. Look at Stan. He goes right to work on the knee. Ref backing him up. The ref needs to be watching because look at Phil. Look at Phil. He's dead. Oh, my God. Phil Fair is one of those type guys. When you're down, he'll beat on you a little bit. But if you stand up to him, he's just a big wimp. I hate to say that, but that's just the way it is. Cover. 1, 2. Kick out by Noble. Stan Sierra tells the ref there, that should have been 3. Ref's like, no, definitely not. Just a 2 count. Look at Phil Fair. He's got John Noble choking the life out of him over the ropes. You can tell John Noble's knee is giving him some trouble right there. That takes away his ability to do his finishing maneuver, the TKO. You definitely need your legs and your knee to finish that move off. And I think that's one reason Stan is definitely going for it. Now, guys, I just want to tell you out there, folks, Stan and John, this feud has been going on for months, and I don't see any end to it right now. Every time John Noble gets Stan where he wants him, about to take the title off of him, Phil Fair, he just comes in and some dirty underhanded trick, whatever he can do. Look at the ref here. He's making sure that he's not pulling anything of John there. He pulls John over to the ropes to work on that leg. Oh, there he goes back to the knee. The ref really needs to get him out of the ropes. It's definitely a 5 count right here. It should be going on, but it's not. Stan goes on the outside. He's going to take his knee and come on now. Come on, ref, count the man. What is, he's just working on that knee. And I'm trying my best to be biased right here, and call it right down the middle. But it's hard to do that with Phil Fair and the way he does things. And Stan also, he's so dirty and underhanded. You know, let's see what Noble has in store. Clothesline there by Stan Sierra to John. Knocking the wind out of him. Goes right for the chokehold. Right for the chokehold there, folks. Big elbow drop on Noble. Let's see if we're going to do another big elbow drop. Trying to knock the wind out of Noble. 1, 2. 2 count there. Phil Fair says count faster, ref. And look at Stan threatening the ref. Now, if he hits that ref, that is a suspension waiting to happen right there. Noble, 1, 2. Very close count right there. Clips the leg. Stan Sierra just clips his leg again. He's definitely going to work on that leg and knee, especially the knee right there. Look at Phil Fair just waiting. I know he's waiting to cheat. He's probably one of the biggest cheaters I've ever seen. Stan asking the fans, what do you think of me now? And frankly, they're not impressed by him, as John Noble is definitely a hometown hero right here. John with some good shots right there on Stan. Here we go. Duck the clothesline by Stan. Big forearm by Stan right there. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, 2.5 count right there. The ref said it's 2. Boy, he was coming down. He was definitely coming down for that 3 count. Noble deep down. You know, he's digging way down in the well, if you know what I mean. 1, 2. Break it up, ref. Get him back, but you've got to keep your eye on Phil Fair. Look at this right here. Gut shot with that cane again. Just knocking the breath all out of Noble. Oh, body slam by Stan. You know, Stan, he really is a big man. He works out a lot, and you know, he's wrestling all over. He wrestles all over the Southeast. Oh, what is this? Goes right back to that knee. Right back to that knee. The ref asking Noble, do you want to give it up? Now, if I know Noble, he's not going to give up. He would rather his knee be crippled or his leg, anything. He will not give up. He just has that fighting spirit of a young warrior, and he will not give up. The fans are definitely behind Noble here. Hey, he got to the ropes there. He has to break it. He did not want to break it right there. That knee is really bothering Noble. And he comes in. Noble moves. What is this right here? Schoolboy, 1, 2. Just not enough strength to hold him down. Here we go. Noble goes for the pin. 1, 2. Noble just a little too weak right now. Stan has definitely been working over that knee, as has Phil Fair. And his last name should not be Fair, because he does not play that way for sure. As Noble went for his finishing move, but he just could not get the big man up. What, ref? What is this? Here he goes. Oh, here we go. Let's see what Noble can bring up. 1, 2. He's going for the pin. Ref, what is this? He goes with Phil Fair. Phil Fair has the ref's attention. That was definitely a 6 or 7 count, maybe even more than that. Oh, what is this? Stan's pulling down something. He's got something, loaded that up and hit it. Oh, what is this? Leg on the rope. And Phil Fair. Oh my God. What is this? John Noble had his foot on the rope after Stan had hit him with something with his pad. He pulled his arm pad down there, hit him with something, loaded it up, hits Noble. 1, 2. Noble puts his leg on the rope, and Phil Fair knocks it off. Just like always, I'm just sick to my